crypto is stuck at the same place. We have very little movement inside that range, which for Bitcoin is between the $80,000 to the 84. Right now, Bitcoin is at 83,328. We also have Ethereum below the 2K, which is ridiculous at 1,897. We also have XRP at $2.30, BNB at 578. Solana again stuck at the 120s, so 126. Cardano below the $1 at 71 cents, and everything else is similar to what we saw in the last video. So with that being said, with the extreme fear that we're seeing, and last month we had almost $10 billion in liquidations in the whole month, which is more than 5 times the liquidations that we saw in 2022 for FTX. But we're not new to this liquidation because it has been going on since December 2024 last year. So since Christmas Eve, we have seen a lot of movement up and down. Then we had an all-time high. We thought January was going to be good, but then everything else started falling even more after a bunch of decisions that have to do with Trump and his cabinet. Since then, we've seen a lot of movement for Bitcoin, but also for altcoins as well, where Bitcoin had a correction of 20% more or less. So altcoins, if you look, for example, at the total 2 or total 3, excluding Bitcoin and excluding Ethereum, these had a more than 35% correction in the crypto market. So we're talking about trillions of dollars lost since December 2024. And we kept playing and seeing the Bitcoin dominance move below the 60s, then above the 60s again. Then everyone was hopeful that it was going to stop at the 57 more or less, and then go down below the 50%, and that will give into altcoin season, which the altcoin season is nothing more when altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin is falling per se. It means that it slowed down its growth and it gave space for altcoins to outperform Bitcoin in that time frame. So in the monthly, daily, weekly, these altcoins have performed. So this is called an altcoin season. And as we can see right here, altcoin season is now at 15, meaning that Bitcoin is outperforming these altcoins, these assets. Even though we don't look good when looking at charts, we still have a lot of positive catalysts in crypto. We, for example, already talked about the crypto reserve for the United States. So these catalysts are still bullish for crypto in the mid to long term. We could have more pain right now, especially because it is not just crypto related. Of course, with the Trump tariffs, we saw a huge dip in the US stock market, mainly if you take a look at the S&P 500. And this pattern right here that you're watching, we saw something very similar when we broke through the channel, and we saw that back in early 2022. So now we have to wait and be cautious to figure out if this is just a correction and we're gonna bounce back up, or if this flipped the game and we could be looking towards a recession. Then this will mean that also crypto will be affected, and crypto would also have some more pain in the short term to then have all of these bullish news to push Bitcoin to new all-time highs after this correction. So things are very intricate and connected between one another. So now, especially now with governments and institutions taking in crypto, it means that now crypto is very tied to these governments, to these markets, to the traditional finance sector. So we have to keep an eye on everything that is happening both there and here in the crypto space. So for you to be waiting on a altcoin season, the best thing for you to do is maybe just park your money in USDC, or maybe just buy Bitcoin, because it literally means that Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins. And of course, here I'm talking about spot. I'm not talking about leverage. I'm not talking about futures. I'm not talking about options. I'm talking about spot. Because if you're leveraging, if you're trading futures, if you're trading derivatives, it doesn't really matter, because you can short a position, you can long a position, you can get into more volatile tokens than just Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Cardano, all of these. You can get into tokens that have 300 IV, you know, these sorts of things. And you can ride this on the upside or on the short side. So it doesn't really matter for you to look into Bitcoin because alt season is not here. No, you can look at any other coin because you're leveraging. But now if you're doing spot trading, if you're doing one-to-one trading, your own money, no leverage, no other capital, then yes, take a look at Bitcoin. It could be performing way more than altcoins in this short term. So we can see that there's a lot of people still waiting for the altcoin season to happen, because by searching on a Google Trend search the term altcoins, we see that these spike a lot right after a huge movement in price, either up or down from Bitcoin itself. That you can see right here that in 2017, 2018, we had a huge spike in the term search for altcoin. So the altcoin was trending in that era. Then again, back in 2021, we saw a huge spike in the altcoin term being searched on YouTube. And now in 2025, especially between December and now, we saw a huge spike again in the altcoin trend going up on Google. So now it is slowing down a little bit. So instead of playing that game of guessing and waiting for which altcoins are going to perform well, like you see on YouTube or Twitter, mainly people trying to speculate which coin is going to perform better than the other. Some people are throwing in random names, random tokens, and you might get baited into buying into those, which is not what we're going to do here. The best thing for you to do is to either go the safe route, which is USDC, or if you want to risk a little bit more, start to buy in Bitcoin, like we said in the last video. Now we're getting into a price range that is very good for you to buy in on your Bitcoin, because again, right now we could be seeing things differently in 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even farther away. But right now, this looks like it's going to correct, stay between the $69,000 and the current $80,000 to then move up from that price range and try to find all-time highs with Bitcoin. So honestly, that is an alternative. Again, unless we see a confirmation of different patterns or of different things that breaks the current logic that we're following, then we're going to keep this as our plan of action. So what you could do is, if you don't want to go for the Bitcoin because you still think there's more for it to fall, for it to go down, and you don't want to be holding a negative bag, you don't want to be diamond handing this, well, what you can do, you can go here on the copy trading, which has been performing very, very well here on the topics. Again, always the first link in the description for you to register. Is very free, super easy, and you can deposit into Bitopics into our copy trading strategy. Guess what? We use spreads. We trade volatility here with the 0DTE, which is a very safe way. But again, because we're in a case of a lot of volatility happening here in the market, we are seeing a slowing down in yields, but it's still offering you 100% ROI per year since the strategy started, which was in May 2024. If you had deposited here $1,000, you would have made already 78% on that USDC, on that USDT. So imagine, you wouldn't have found that on Uniswap V3. You cannot find that on any other leveraged stablecoin farms. No, 100% yield on USDC is almost unthinkable of. A 98% is unthinkable of. And here we have been offering this because we're trading volatility. We're trading volatility spreads here with DZODT. So 78%, 79% actually so far has been made. In the past 24 hours, we made 0.59%. In the past 30 days, 4.8% returns. We're almost at the 2 million TVL. So the assets under management are almost at 2 million right here. And you can see that this has been going up and up a lot, even though the yield has been kind of stagnating a little bit, but still, because we're trading volatility, we need to take a little bit slow right now, because shorting volatility in this market is kind of pointless, you know? So of course the yields are going to reflect on that, but whenever the market flips again, it will be a fantastic return on your stablecoin right here. So this paired with the other video that we made last time, it means that so far we are still bullish. I am still bullish, waiting for that huge correction to happen, but it will stop at 69. I think 69 will be that magic number, you know, that cushion zone for it to bounce back from and then move upwards. But as I said in the last video, if the charts are showing and if geopolitical macroeconomics are showing different things, it is best for us to be able not to just stick to one thing and never change, you know, to be able to be versatile and change our strategy to avoid losing money, to avoid losing more money. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you agree with me, comment down below in the video. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic end of the week, and I'll see you guys on Monday for another video. Peace.